Takt Planning for Trade Partners, how lean construction works in the field. I'm really excited about this video because this is the second to last onboarding video for trade partners for the Takt production system. And I'm really pretty stoked about it because I'm going to cover the philosophy with a couple of really cool images. So let me just go ahead and dive right in and talk about this example here. And let me start out by saying you can't do this in any other format. Only in a time by location format can you do this. The other thing is time by location format is hard. But let me make the point, and it actually just hit me the other day. Construction is just hard in and of itself, meaning that visualizing things in space, which is how trades must move through the building, is hard. And looking at scheduling in a time by location format is hard. But we have to do that hard work for the workers and foremen and for the trades to make money and have production flow and respect people, most importantly. And so we get to do the hard things so we can comfort the people who matter in the field. One of the things that we all should know is that everybody with the GC and trade partner management, we're all waste. Necessary non-value entities. The only people that actually really matter are the workers and the foremen. They are necessary value add. They're the kings and queens of the job site, and everybody supports the king, everybody supports the queen. So we have to do this, we get to do this hard work out ahead. So let me give you a couple of examples, and Ana Luisa with Elevate and Lean Tech came up with these, very genius. And talk about what we need to end up with versus what we typically have. Typically in construction we'll take, and these little dots will represent the density of work in an area. Typically we'll just batch an entire area, pull plan an entire area, and just come up with activities left to right. But we're wasting time. And we're wasting time needlessly, let me just say. And what we need to do is start breaking out the building into zones. When we start to break the building out into zones, typically we'll guess. Like let's say we say, you know, hey, we know that the zone should be organized by work density, not by equal square footage or square meters. Okay, let's break this up into two zones. Okay, zone 1 and 2. 1, 2. And then this activity, you bring the 2 days down, 2 days down. This goes at an even pace, but this isn't, which means that's your trade bottleneck or your activity bottleneck. Not the end of the world. We have an inefficiency gap here, but we've also gained time. One of the things I want to point out here, as we break it up into zones and level the density of work by zone, we are starting to bring this forward and optimize the production plan, but now we're seeing problems. What we're seeing here is that this is a bit too complex and we have a trade bottleneck, but we are gaining time, and the main thing I want to point out, we're not cutting time from the trade but we're still bringing it in sooner. Let's say then you actually calculate using the calculator, which we'll do, and this is shown in more detail in the foreman onboarding series and in other Takt training. We'll actually calculate what the zone sizes should be and decide with you in the pull plan. And you've leveled these by density. Now you have 4 zones. But you've done another thing, knowing that this was your bottleneck, we've actually paid for 2 crews, an additional crew ahead of time that's now trained and onboarded. So now you have a sequence where you're flowing and you see 1, 2, 3, 4. You still have the four durations. 4 durations. And then this one has brought forward, and it doesn't have that inefficiency gap because you have additional resources and you actually have additional buffers. You've brought the overall throughput time in. Nobody has worked anybody out of time here. Nobody has messed over a trade partner. Nobody is trade stacking. Nobody is trade burdening. And in fact, this only works because you have an additional paid for crew. Most of the time, you don't even have to do that. My point is, you're constantly trying to find the right number of zones. We're constantly leveling, and we're constantly packaging out here to where we have the best overall duration. This helps you because you have less GCs, less GRs. You're out of the site sooner, and you're able to do other work. So this is better for you, especially because you're working in a flow. This is the base of takt planning. We must have the right number of zones. We must have leveled crews flowing through those zones, and we must have leveled zones from a work density standpoint. This is why we teach the integrated production control system as a system. We plan the project, which we've talked about, but on a rhythm where we can see those things that I was showing you in the last slide with the trade partners. So by the time it comes down to do look-ahead planning, weekly work planning, and day planning with you, we already have a good sequence here. We already have a takt plan that we're using that ties into these other systems where we can do all of the key components that are required for flow. That's why we teach it this way, is because these concepts come into play in the middle. Yeah, you plan the job, but don't just plan it willy-nilly. Plan it where you have flow so the trades can actually succeed. And one of the things that I love to show is that you see at the end there's this little arrow. At the end there's this little arrow. Everything points to adding value to the foreman in the zone. Now, what you'll experience, and this is probably the most important thing to say, in pre-construction, you'll be helping the GC, helping us, or whoever's planning, you'll be helping us to make sure that we have that right flow. Then when we do training, we'll all be getting on board with lean and takt, last planner, and Kanban methods. We will together optimize the work in these phases to where we're not wasting time, and we've identified the right number of zones with you, not for you, shoving it down your throat, with you. And then when we do the pull plan, we'll be able to gain those buffers and have a collaborative sequence with all the trades bought in. This is the gem. This is hard, but it's the gem. That then enables us to start the project strong to where when you do your pre-construction meeting, you're able to enter into the zones properly ready the first time in the train of trades in flow. And what we do is every day we plan the day in the foreman huddle, communicate in the worker huddle, and then monitor how we're progressing through these zones and the handoffs real time daily at the handoff areas. And if we come into a problem, we can recover. So if there's a delay here, we've got 12 different ways to recover that don't hurt you. Okay? And then that allows us to continuously improve the system because we have visual standards. That's how you interact with the overall system. And one of the things that I want to say as I'm closing this out, which is very important, we got one more video after this that'll be brief. But the takt plans that you see should no longer just look like some random pretty thing that somebody created. They are timelines with a promise to the owner, the ability to go faster during the pull plan, and a backup zoning strategy if we need it, where you have buffers. They are key milestones that also track the supply chain visually through properly leveled zones with properly leveled activities, with the right number of zones to go fast, to where this path of critical flow is no longer a critical path. It is a path that has trade flow and buffers and is a reasonable end date. That is the takt production system at work. And we have one more video, and I want to include commissioning, but my point with this is that when you interact with this system, it benefits you the most. This trade flow benefits you the most. This buffers make sure that we're not burning money. Have you ever had a GC, I want more labor, work overtime, do all these things. You're like, who's going to pay for it? Oh, I guess it's me. No longer do you have to do that. This system is genius, and the paradox of it all is that when we stop rushing and pushing and panicking, when we actually get buffers back into the system, when we work together as a collaborative team, projects narrow. In CPM, you'll target something fast and impossible and overshoot the end date. In takt, you'll get the right milestone and you'll undercut it, meaning you'll actually go faster. It's a paradox. It's wild. But the most important thing, it turns out, when you take care of people and when you flow, projects actually get done faster. So that's my summary. We'll head into commissioning next, but I want you to really, I hope you really understand that when we ask for your input, when we go through the training, when we optimize with you, when we do a pull plan, when we help you to start strong, when we're actually monitoring in the field, recovering with delays, and helping each other to improve, it's for you. Yeah, these things can be annoying, but it's for you. And when it's for you, however we treat you is how you treat the project. and however you treat the project is what our owner experiences. So I hope to see you on the last video. On we go.